I'm getting ready to make my vegetarian pumpkin chili. There are two ways that you can cook this. In a crock pot, which is what I'm going to do today, or in a Dutch oven on the stove. I use one fresh sugar pumpkin for this recipe, vegetable stock, a red pepper, fresh garlic cloves, garbanzo and kidney beans, tomato paste, one yellow onion, a variety of tomatoes, and corn. Spices include chili powder, dried oregano, ground nutmeg, ground cumin, and ground cinnamon. The first thing I'm going to do, which is the most difficult and time-consuming part of the recipe, is to peel and cut my pumpkin. Some stores sell freshly cut up pumpkin, like at Trader Joe's. I start by cutting the top off, cutting the pumpkin in half, and then cutting the bottom off. Now I'm going to scoop the seeds out and save them to roast those later. Removed the seeds, and now I'm going to peel the outside of the pumpkin. So you can use a knife or a peeler to peel the outside of the pumpkin. It's not the easiest task, but it's certainly not impossible. To clean out the inside of the pumpkin, I simply use the peeler. This is much easier. So I was saying that it's much easier to peel the inside of the pumpkin than it is the outside, but once you do that, all you need to do is dice it up. I used one small sugar pumpkin for this, but in case you're going to buy pre-cut pumpkin, I'm using 3 cups. So my little helper is here, and the first thing we're going to do is add our pumpkin to the crock pot. Good job, Cadence. Now we're going to add 1 cup of frozen corn to the crock pot. Go ahead, Cadence. Great job. So now we're going to add 3 cups of vegetable stock. Careful, Cadence. Great job. We have our garbanzo beans and our kidney beans, and we're adding that to the crock pot. Great job, Cadence. I'm chopping my garlic, tomatoes, and red pepper. Cadence is stirring up what we have in so far. I'm using 1 small pepper, a medley of tomatoes. I have 1 regular large tomato and then a medley, and then I'm using 3 garlic cloves and I'm going to chop up to throw. So my garlic is in and my tomatoes are all chopped, my pepper's chopped, and I'm just going to start adding those into the crock pot. Go ahead, you can put some in, Cadence. Last but not least of our vegetables to go in is our chopped yellow onion. Cadence is going to start adding it into the crock pot. Great job, Cadence. While Cadence stirs all the vegetables, I'm going to add 1 can of tomato paste to the crock pot. This helps give the chili a nice thick texture. It's time to start adding our spices. I'm going to use 1 tablespoon of chili powder, which I had just enough left for this recipe. 1 teaspoon of ground cumin. 1 teaspoon of dried oregano. Half teaspoon of ground cinnamon. Half a teaspoon of ground nutmeg. Mix all your spices up, and then we're going to throw them in the crock pot. Now I'm going to add the spices to the crock pot and stir everything up. So I'm stirring everything in so that it's nice and evenly mixed. And I'm going to start by cooking this on high for a few hours because the pumpkin takes a while to cook through and get soft. Everything is stirred up and mixed well, so the only thing left to do now is to cover it up and let this baby cook. Check back later to see how I'm going to serve it. My vegetarian pumpkin chili has been cooking on high for about 5 hours, and I just checked a piece of pumpkin and it is cooked perfectly. At this point, I'm going to turn my crock pot to low, and I'm going to start getting everything else ready that I'm going to serve my vegetarian pumpkin chili with. I'm serving my chili over fresh organic spinach and tri-colored quinoa. I garnish my chili with yellow corn tortillas, scallions, and shredded cheddar cheese. It's hearty, warming, and you don't even miss the meat. It's perfect on a cold fall night.